Hello friend, welcome to our channel. I'm Rizwan Ansari. In this course, we'll learn about Azure Machine Learning. Furthermore, in this course, we'll learn about Azure Machine Learning, a great platform through which we'll create, maintain, and distribute a real-world machine learning solution. These are the topics that we'll be covering throughout this series. Now, in this part of video, I'll depict different machine learning approaches, that is supervised, unsupervised, for instance, with comparison. Furthermore, I will brief on semi-supervised and reinforcement. Before jumping into the main content, I'd like to recap the video that we did in last one. I'll concisely recall on the machine learning introduction and approach. First, we take example data and clean it, make it ready for training. Choose appropriate algorithm and train the model. Subsequently, we evaluate the model with some test examples data. Finally, we use the model to predict on new data, that is data driven prediction without static programming. The data with algorithm act as a brain for the system. Now, types of machine learning. So first approach is supervised machine learning. Now, based on the data type, supervised approach is used if the data are labeled. Supervised machine learning approach is basically used to identify the value. For example, predicting the car price based on the feature, predicting the number of visitors based on the weather forecast. Likewise, these machine learning models learn to map the relation between input and output. In this method, the data, the provided or example data, already we have some input data, and based on the input parameters, what were the output, those all are already available in our example data. The problem like classification and regression we solved here. Classification means classifying the object, like classifying whether the image is having dog or not, and regression is identifying the value, like predicting the number of visitors. Now it has a numerous application and it is mostly used one. For example, calculating price or credit risks, image classification, email classification, object detection, chatbots, likewise face detection. Now another approach is unsupervised machine learning. So here in this approach, data are unsupervised, or you can say there is no any label. There is only input data and output should be discovered. That is why this method is also called as knowledge discovery. The purpose is to identify the hidden pattern within the data. Let's take an example like learning or play, if you want to learn to play guitar. So there is a way, like you can hire or you can take a teacher and you can use his supervised knowledge like notes, chords and rhythm, and he can teach you. Now if you want to learn guitar by yourself, it's very hard for you to find where to start. So this is how this unsupervised machine learning is. Let's take an example. In your unsupervised machine learning approach, this can be your data. So you have only the data that is available for you. Now based on this data, your output can be like this. So what you are doing, the data having similar properties, you'll group that together. Let's take another example. In the picture you can say in sample data, these all are potatoes. Now after applying this approach, your data will your output will be same your data, but what you have done, you see, you have classified or you have grouped or you have clustered your input data based on the color. So this is one property. Similarly, what you will do, you'll find like what are the data having similar properties, that we will group together, and based on the new data you can identify this data belongs to which group. Now example is discovering a new star in our solar system by investigating. We can use this approach mostly in marketing. Like we can cluster our customers into small groups, like Amazon do this. If we place a laptop in your basket, they will recommend the similar items or the items required for your laptop using association rules. Anomaly detection is another one well suited example in this scenario. Like you can use this approach for fraud detection, malware detection. In this slide, I will try slightly cover the difference between supervised and unsupervised. So, input and output are labeled in supervised machine learning. However, in unsupervised, you have only the input. The goal is to determine the output based on new input comes under supervised machine learning. On the other hand, the goal is to identify the hidden pattern inside the input data is unsupervised. It is much simple in nature. It is computationally complex. Like the way I gave the example of learning guitar without teacher and having teacher. Classification and regression are the example. Clustering and association comes under unsupervised. Now there is another approach that comes mixing supervised and unsupervised, that is semi-supervised. By name it is clear you are mixing supervised and unsupervised approaches. So learning process is not closely supervised with example output for every single input. But also don't let the algorithm to do its own thing by providing no form of feedback. Semi-supervised learning takes middle roadway. Now, doing this, it reduces the burden of having enough level data. Therefore, it opens many more problems to be solved with machine learning. So simply what it does, you have large set of unlabeled data, and to make the machine learning easy, it mix up some amount of labeled data. So the perfect example of this can be a breast cancer scan. Now, a trained expert is needed to label this, which is time consuming and very expensive for each scan of each breast scan data. Now instead what we do is we hire an expert and label a small set of data, and semi-supervised algorithm would be able to leverage the small set of data and apply it to large set of unlabeled data. So this is how this semi-supervised machine learning work. Now another one is which is very complex and new, that is reinforcement machine learning. Though it is very less common and complex, but it generates incredible results. Think of it like training a dog. Good behaviors are rewarded with a treat and becomes more common, and bad behaviors are punished and becomes less common. This reward and motivation behavior is a key in the reinforcement learning. This is the use psychology that can be used for reinforcement machine learning. Occasionally positive and negative feedback is used reinforcement behaviors. Now, reinforcement learning is not been used much in real world due to how it is new and complex it is. In research, it is frequently used in games. Reinforcement learning aim is to maximize its rewards by playing the game over and over again. If you can frame a problem with a frequent score as a reward, it is likely to be suited to reinforcement learning. It is like how we as a human learn. Now there are some misconceptions about the AI and machine learning that also I want to highlight here. Like this day I saw some advertisement of a smart AC. So if you set a temperature, let's say by 25 degrees Celsius, so if the room temperature goes below 25, that AC will turn off. If the temperature rises or goes above or equal to 25, the AC will turn on. So this is actually not a smart, this is using simple if else condition. Now if we want to make that AC smart, it should sense or it should identify automatically that you need the AC now or you are feeling hot based on the previous experience when you turn on the AC or turn off the AC. Similarly, there is another example. I went one university, they were using a watering system. So after certain duration of time, the water was given to the plants automatically using some system. So that is also a kind of if-else, but not a AI solution. If you want to make that solution AI, it should sense automatically when the plant need water with without considering of specific times. Similarly, like this day, lots of smart dashboards are coming, but most of those dashboards only they show the good graphic, illustrate the diagram, or a good design is there, but I don't think like they are using AI to represent the data. What they do, they are doing data visualization. So that's all in this video, and thank you for watching. In the next video we will be continuing with Azure machine learning uh, introduction and machine learning studio. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.